All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're diving deep into, glutes.
Glutes!
Yeah, you heard right. We're talking about building better glutes. Specifically, we're going to be looking at this blog post, How to Grow Your Glutes. The 7 best glute exercises I used in my contest prep by a former bodybuilder, Ferdie Delima, over at Morningscape Mindset Media.
Okay, so this guy's a bodybuilder. So is this just for, like, the super ripped gym rats out there?
Well, that's the thing. You might think so, but his journey actually went way beyond just, getting that competition physique. Like, he talks about how building his glutes actually improved his overall strength, his posture, even helped with things like back pain.
Oh, okay. So it's more about, like, functional strength and just feeling better in your body.
Exactly. Like, who wouldn't want that, right?
Right. So what kind of crazy glute workout is this guy doing?
Well, that's the interesting part. One of the first things that really stood out to me was his aha moment, so to speak.
What was that?
So he was working with a coach, and the coach was like, dude, your glutes are lagging. Like, they were holding him back from reaching his full potential.
Wow, I never thought of glutes as, like, a limiting factor. I mean, I know they're important, but...
Right, but Freddie realized that strong glutes weren't just about looking good on stage, but like you were saying, they're crucial for overall performance. Like, they're kind of the powerhouse behind a lot of our movements.
Interesting. So how did he transform his, lagging glutes?
Well, he goes into a whole routine.
Yeah.
But the results are actually pretty impressive. He talks about fuller, rounder glutes, obviously. But then he also saw improvements in his squats, his deadlifts, even his cardio got a boost.
No way. So this routine, it's like, it has benefits beyond just the aesthetic stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what, makes it relevant for anyone listening, whether you're a seasoned athlete or just looking to improve your everyday movement. I mean, we're talking about functional strength, injury prevention, just feeling more powerful in your body.
I like it. So what's the secret sauce? What's this guy's go-to glute exercise?
Well, drum roll, please. It is the barbell hip thrust.
The hip thrust, really?
Yep. He swears by it. Talks about the burn you feel, the deep activation of the gluteus maximus. I mean, I've tried them, and they're definitely intense.
Okay, so they're intense, but are they really, like, the best? I mean, there are so many other glute exercises out there.
Well, that's what I was wondering, too. So from a, biomechanics perspective, why is this move so effective? What makes it stand out?
Well, you have to think about it in terms of leverage and angle of force. During a hip thrust, your glutes are basically positioned to work directly against gravity, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then the range of motion, you get that full contraction at the top and a deep stretch at the bottom, so you're hitting all those muscle fibers from every angle.
So it's like super targeted.
Exactly.
Okay, I've tried hip thrusts before, and I can definitely feel them working. But I'm always a little unsure about my form.
Form is crucial, yeah.
Yeah. Any tips on how to really maximize that glute engagement, for our listeners who might be wanting to try this out?
Absolutely. So first things first, you want to make sure you're setting yourself up correctly. Your upper back should be, comfortably supported on a bench, barbell across your hips, feet planted firmly about shoulder width apart. And don't forget that pad for the barbell.
Oh, yeah. That pad is key for comfort.
Definitely. Okay, and then as you drive up through your heels, imagine you're pushing the ceiling away with your hips. It's that squeeze at the top where the magic happens, so hold it for a second. Really feel those glutes working.
So it's not just about moving the weight. It's about that focused contraction.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, so we've got the hip thrust down. But hold on, there's more to this glute routine, right?
Oh, there's definitely more. This is just the beginning.
Right. He doesn't just stop at hip thrusts. He's got a whole lineup of exercises. It's like he's attacking those glutes from all sides.
That's a good way to put it. And that variety is important because, you have 3 gluteal muscles, the maximus, medius, and minimus.
Right.
And they each play a slightly different role in movement and stability, so you need a well-rounded routine to hit them all.
Okay, that makes sense. So he mentions deep squats, Romanian deadlifts, step-ups, walking lunges.
Yeah, it's a full-on glute party.
It is. It's like a greatest hits album for your glutes. But instead of just listing them all out, maybe we can pick out a few that are particularly interesting, or maybe highlight some nuances that Ferdie brings up. Something to help our listeners really get the most out of this.
Yeah, for sure. I think the deep squats are worth a deeper look, pun intended. He's really adamant about going below parallel, which can be tough, but it makes a huge difference in glute activation. That deeper range of motion, it just puts more stretch on the muscle, so it has to work harder.
He even talks about using a wider stance than usual for those deep squats.
Right, and that wider stance, combined with, pointing your toes slightly outward, helps target the gluteus medius more effectively.
The gluteus medius?
Yeah, it's often neglected, but it's super important for stabilizing your hips and preventing knee pain, especially if you're, a runner or do a lot of lateral movements.
Oh, okay. So that's a good tip right there. Now, I've got to ask about those walking lunges. He describes them as brutal but effective. And I can see why. Just picturing them makes me sore.
They are definitely a challenge, especially if you add dumbbells for extra resistance. But the thing is, walking lunges are fantastic because they work your glutes unilaterally, one leg at a time.
Unilaterally, okay.
And this helps you identify any strength imbalances between sides, which can really impact, your overall movement efficiency.
It's like you're strengthening each side individually.
Exactly.
So we've got the hip thrusts hitting the gluteus maximus, deep squats working that medius, and walking lunges for those strength imbalances.
It's all coming together.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
But there's another layer to this that I found really interesting, and that's his emphasis on the mind-muscle connection. It's almost like his secret weapon.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mind-muscle connection. It might sound a little, out there, but it's a real thing. Studies have actually shown that consciously focusing your attention on the working muscle can increase activation and lead to greater strength gains.
Really? So it's not just about going through the motions.
Nope. It's about being present, being mentally engaged, visualizing those muscles working with each rep.
Huh. Interesting. Any tips on how to cultivate that connection?
Yeah.
Especially for someone who's, new to this whole idea.
Well, one technique is to slow down the tempo of your reps. Instead of rushing through the movement, really focus on the contraction and stretch of the muscle.
Okay.
And then you can also use visualization cues, with hip thrusts. Imagine you're squeezing a ball between your glutes at the top of the movement. Or during squats, picture your glutes pulling you back up to standing.
So it's about really being aware of the sensations in your body, tuning into those subtle cues. That's actually pretty cool. I never really thought about it like that before.
It takes practice for sure, but the more you focus on the mind-muscle connection, the more effective your workouts become.
And that's something Ferdie really emphasizes throughout his whole program.
Absolutely. It's a key ingredient.
Okay, so before we move on to the nitty-gritty of this full glute workout, I want to touch on something else that really stood out to me. He's really big on protein, especially during his contest prep. He mentions lean meats, fish, eggs, protein shakes. It's like he was practically living on protein.
Well, there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is protein so important, especially when you're, trying to build muscle?
Protein is basically the building block for muscle repair and growth. When you work your muscles hard, with Ferdie's intense routine, you create tiny tears in the muscle fibers. And protein helps repair those tears and rebuild the muscle stronger than before.
So it's not just about the workout itself. It's about giving your body the right fuel to recover.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think that's a great segue into Ferdie's full glute workout routine, where he lays it all out, the sets, reps, the order of exercises. Are you ready to dive into that?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's break it down. Okay, so let's take a look at how Ferdie structures his glute workout. He starts with a warm-up. 3 sets of 20 bodyweight glute bridges.
Glute bridges. Got it.
It's a good way to, activate those muscles before you hit them with the heavy stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. It's like waking up those glutes, getting them ready for action.
Exactly.
Okay, so after the warm-up, then it's onto those barbell hip thrusts, right?
You got it. 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. And remember, focus on that squeeze at the top of each rep.
Right, the squeeze. Got it.
Quality over quantity here.
And he talks about gradually increasing the weight as you get stronger, that whole progressive overload thing.
Progressive overload is key for, making those gains.
Yeah. I've heard the term, but honestly, I'm not always sure how to actually do it.
Well, it's basically about challenging your muscles over time. So start with a weight that feels, manageable for those 8 to 12 reps.
Okay.
And then as you get stronger, gradually increase either the weight or the number of reps you're doing. It's a process, but it's what drives muscle growth.
So like baby steps.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got those hip thrusts down. Then what comes after that?
Deep squats.
Deep squats. All right.
4 sets of 6 to 8 reps.
6 to 8. Okay. And remember, he's really big on going below parallel for those.
Oh, yeah. Got to hit that full range of motion to really, maximize that glute engagement.
Okay. I can already feel the burn.
Right.
So what's next after we conquer those deep squats?
Romanian deadlifts.
Romanian deadlifts. All right.
3 sets of 10 to 12 reps.
10 to 12. Okay.
This one's great for not only your glutes, but also your hamstrings, which are, super important for your whole posterior chain.
All right. The posterior chain.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing pattern here. A lot of compound movements, working multiple muscle groups at once.
That's the idea. Compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, hip thrusts, they engage multiple joints and muscle groups, so they're just more efficient for building overall strength and, functional movement.
Functional movement. Gotta love that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so after Romanian deadlifts, we've got
Bulgarian split squats.
Bulgarian split squats. Ooh, those sound intimidating.
They are a challenge. 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps per leg.
Per leg, okay.
But they're great for, working on your balance, your coordination, and of course, hitting those glutes and quads hard.
So they're like a multitasker.
Exactly.
Any tips for those? They always look so tricky.
The key is finding a stable base. So elevate your back foot on a bench or a platform and make sure your front knee isn't, going too far past your toes as you lower down.
Okay.
And keep that core engaged the whole time to, help with balance.
Balance and core. Got it. What's next on the glute blasting agenda?
Time for those walking lunges.
Walking lunges. Here we go.
3 sets of 20 steps. And feel free to, grab some dumbbells to make it even more challenging.
Oh, I'm sure I will. And these are unilateral, right?
Yep. Working one leg at a time. So pay attention to, how each side feels. See if you notice any imbalances.
It's like a moving meditation.
Kind of, yeah.
Focusing on each step, feeling those muscles working. Okay, so what's the final move in this glute workout extravaganza?
We're finishing strong with step-ups.
Step-up, sorry.
3 sets of 12 to 15 reps per leg. Drive through that heel as you step up onto the platform.
Got it. So we've got heavy lifting, unilateral work, and a whole lot of glute-focused intensity. I'm ready to hit the gym.
I like your enthusiasm.
But before I do, I want to circle back to that mind-muscle connection we were talking about earlier. I think it's worth, exploring a little bit more.
It's a game changer, for sure.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the numbers, the sets and reps, but if you can really tap into that mind-muscle connection.
It takes it to a whole other level.
Yeah. So you mentioned some visualization techniques like imagining squeezing a ball between your glutes during those hip thrusts.
Right.
Are there any other strategies you might suggest, to help our listeners really get into that headspace?
Well, slowing down the tempo of your reps can be surprisingly effective.
Slowing down. Okay.
Yeah. Instead of rushing through the movement, really take your time, focus on that contraction and stretch in the muscle.
Right.
Not only does this help enhance that mind-muscle connection, but it also, improves your form and reduces your risk of injury.
So it's like you're bringing more mindfulness to your workout.
Exactly.
Being more present.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It makes sense. If you're like distracted or just going through the motions, you're probably not going to get as much out of it.
Exactly. And another tip, focus on the feeling, not just the movement. Pay attention to the sensations in your glutes as you do each exercise. Where do you feel the tension? That awareness can really strengthen that mind-muscle connection.
So it's like a feedback loop. You're more aware of the sensations, which helps you, refine your form, focus your mental energy, and then that leads to even better results.
Exactly. And the more you practice this, the stronger that connection becomes. It's a skill,
Like anything else.
Okay.
So now I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about something that Ferdie specifically addresses in his blog post. The benefits of this glute routine for women. And he's not just talking about, aesthetics here. He goes deeper and explains why this type of training can be particularly advantageous for women.
He's got a point, too. One of the things he highlights is the hormonal difference between men and women. Women naturally have lower testosterone levels, so they're less likely to bulk up.
Oh.
And more likely to develop, lean, toned muscles, which is what a lot of women are looking for when it comes to their glutes.
So it's like we have a natural advantage.
You could say that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And then beyond the aesthetic benefits, there are functional advantages as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Strong glutes are key for good posture, which can make a huge difference in how you look and feel. And they also, play a big role in supporting your lower back.
Which is so important.
Especially for women who wear heels or sit at a desk all day.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that when my glutes are stronger, my posture is better, and my back doesn't ache as much.
It's all connected.
It is. And Ferdie even provides like a modified version of his routine specifically for women.
He does, yeah.
Does he mention any key adjustment?
He suggests, using slightly lighter weights and higher rep ranges for some of the exercises, really focusing on building endurance and muscular definition rather than like maxing out your strength. Yeah. And he also emphasizes incorporating more unilateral exercises like step-ups and lunges.
To help with those imbalances.
Exactly.
So it's about tailoring the routine to, fit women's specific needs and goals.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to fitness.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's time to address the question that's probably on everyone's mind, results. Like, how long does it typically take to see, noticeable changes after incorporating a routine like Ferdie's?
It's the question everyone wants the answer to.
Right. How quickly can I get those amazing glutes?
Well, it's tough to say for sure because everyone's body responds differently. Genetics, training experience, nutrition, all those things play a role.
It's a lot of many factors.
But with consistent effort and a solid program like this one, you could start to see noticeable changes within, 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks. Okay, so not overnight, but it's a realistic time frame. And I think it's a good reminder that fitness is a journey. It's not a destination.
Yeah.
It's about showing up consistently, making gradual improvements, celebrating those small wins along the way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We've broken down Ferdie's glute building program, explored the mind-muscle connection, talked about how this can benefit women specifically.
It's been a glute-tastic journey.
Yes, but I want to leave our listeners with something to, really ponder, something to take away from this deep dive and apply to their own fitness journey.
I think the most important thing is to remember that your mind is powerful.
Our mind. Okay.
Whether you're trying to build stronger glutes or achieve any other fitness goal, cultivate that mind-muscle connection. Visualize those muscles working, focus on the sensations, and believe in your ability to make progress.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's like half the battle is, believing in yourself and what your body can do.
Exactly. It's about mindset as much as anything else.
And I think, Ferdie's story really highlights that. It's not like he just woke up one day with, those incredible glutes. It took effort, dedication.
It was a conscious decision to, focus on that area and really believe that he could transform his body.
And that's something I think we can all learn from, whether we're, trying to build our glutes or achieve any other fitness goal. You have the power to shape your own journey.
Absolutely. You have to show up and put in the work, both physically and mentally.
It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Yeah.
You believe you can do it, and then your body, it follows.
There's definitely a powerful connection between the mind and body. And when you can harness that connection, you can really achieve some incredible things.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into, Ferdie's glute building wisdom, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this conversation? Like, what's that action step, that little nugget of insight that can help them, make some real changes in their own fitness journey?
I would say, don't be afraid to experiment. Ferdie's routine is a great starting point.
Yeah.
But it's not, set in stone. Listen to your body.
Right.
Pay attention to what feels right for you and, adjust the exercises, the rep ranges, whatever you need to do to make it your own.
Make it your own, yeah. That's where the magic happens, right? When you find what works for you.
Absolutely. And don't forget to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Oh, yeah, those are important.
Whether it's lifting a little heavier or just, finally nailing that perfect form.
It all adds up.
It does. It keeps you motivated.
So it's not just about the end goal. It's about, enjoying the process, the journey. Yeah. Becoming stronger, more confident.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into, the world of glutes.
I think we covered it all.
We did. Big thanks to Ferdie Delima for sharing his insights. And of course, thanks to you, our amazing listeners, for joining us today.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive into a topic we think you'll find, fascinating.
Until then, keep those minds sharp, those bodies strong, and keep exploring.
See you next time.
That's a wrap.